The rivers originating from Anatolia's mountains begin their journeys at high peaks, where rainfall and melting snow converge. This is the story of soil and rock shaped by water over tens of thousands of years, beginning with the glaciers. Some of Anatolia's last glaciers rest just below the 3,932-metre summit of the Kachkar Mountains. The unyielding force of water has sculpted deep valleys over the ages, shaping the landscape through which it traverses. Snowmelt flows through the rugged terrain of the Kachkar Mountains, creating stunning meanders. Gracefully twisting and turning, these natural meanders are shaped by nature's design. The gradient, soil composition, and water erosion have created these remarkable formations. Striking waterfalls tumble in every direction across Anatolia's forest-covered highlands. The streams that descend from the mountains carve out deep valleys and feed the plains and meadows before flowing into the sea. Streams give birth to numerous habitats. Now it's time to feed the coasts and seas with alluvium transported down from the mountain peaks. The land is flatter near sea level. Sediments carried by the water gather along the coasts, impeding the flow. As sediment accumulates, water spreads over a larger area and creates channels. In this episode, we trace the path of glacier meltwaters from high altitudes to the delta, where they flow into the sea, exploring the streams that shape these habitats and the remarkable creatures that thrive in these environments. Spring has arrived. As temperatures climb and waters warm, Anatolia's largest lake stirs with renewed life. Lake Van is exposed to the harsh East Anatolian climate at 1,640 meters above sea level. Yet, due to its high salinity, it never completely freezes in winter. However, the pearl mullets cannot reproduce in the lake's highly alkaline and saline water. The endemic residents of Lake Van are attuned to seasonal changes and are preparing for an epic migration. Fish gather at the mouths of the streams flowing into the lake. Hunters eagerly anticipate this moment. The seagulls of Lake Van will feast on millions of fish. The school must swim vigorously against the current. It might take them days to reach ideal spawning grounds. The river is calm for now. However, the fish have migrated for millennia and instinctively know the dangers that await them. The current grows stronger as the stream narrows. Those too weak to keep up are left behind. Their first significant obstacle lies ahead. This is an exceptional display of strength. Few succeed on the first try. They will try and try again, persistently. The seagulls are spoiled for choice. They must take advantage of this brief window. The fish know they cannot leap over every obstacle. In shallow water near the rocks, they must find alternative ways. The fish have overcome numerous obstacles and finally reached their destination. The females will spawn around 9,000 eggs in this shallow, stony, fast-flowing fresh water. The churning water will help oxygenate and fertilize the eggs. The eggs cling to rocks and algae for around a week before hatching, depending on the water temperature. While the adults return to the lake right after spawning, the young will spend their first few months in freshwater. Born in the streams that feed the lake, the pearl mullet heeds nature's call in its third year, setting out on an epic journey to reproduce. Early May. The high peaks remain snow-capped. This dried-up riverbed hosts one of Anatolia's most vibrant birds. A remarkable species known for its bright yellow neck and striking turquoise body, complemented by brown and red hues on its head and wings. The bee-eater is a migratory bird that forms large colonies. They are here to breed. Riverbeds make excellent nesting sites for bee-eaters, which favour clay-rich and sandy soil banks and stay close to their nests from early May to late August. Some nests can stretch up to 2 meters. The eggs are laid deep within the nest, making them inaccessible to predators. The parents will provide chicks with insects for the first 3 weeks. The bee-eater excels as a hunter, watching from branches near the riverbed. With agile movements, it captures various flying insects, particularly bees, before returning to the perch from which it took off. Before swallowing their catch, bee-eaters skillfully remove the poisonous stinger sac. The breeding season brings competition for bee-eaters. Intense fights erupt over the best perch, the best nest, the best mate. They must risk everything to pass on their genes to future generations. Birds seek to get the attention of potential mates. Bee-eaters that find their mate will spend the entire season together. Some birds may remain paired for several years. A sign of changing seasons along the Euphrates is the sand martin. After wintering in Africa, they return to Anatolia to breed. Sand martins prefer nesting on steep, sandy riverbanks, like the bee-eaters. However, while bee-eaters nest in dry stream beds, martins prefer to nest near flowing rivers. The soil is loose enough to dig a nest, yet firm enough to shelter eggs and chicks. Nests located on the steeper sections of the riverbanks are considered safe. There is no risk from the water, and threats from above are also limited. However, there exists an unusual danger to martins in this area. Cattle egrets. They're here to exploit the martin nests as the water recedes. Nutritious eggs or defenseless chicks may be for the taking. All nests will be inspected. Experienced martins dig deep tunnels. Most of their eggs and chicks are safe. Sand martins will continue hunting insects for their chicks. The river also shapes the life of the northern bald ibis. Steep limestone cliffs eroded by water serve as breeding grounds for this endangered bird. The stream by these cliffs is a haven for steppe creatures. The bald ibis roams the fields for insects, scorpions, small reptiles and amphibians. The survival of a key species in the Anatolian steppe relies indirectly on streams. Millennia of water erosion have shaped valleys with steep walls and caves, offering refuge for these animals. The striped hyena inhabits remote rocky caves away from human presence and inaccessible to other animals. At night, the hyenas venture from their dens to forage on the plains nourished by the Euphrates. Among the vital habitats in Anatolia are the streams meandering through the forests. The water from the mountain peaks is a vital resource, abundant in minerals and oxygen. This hidden haven provides the ideal breeding and feeding grounds for damselflies. The vividly bright blue ones are males. The females display dark wings with yellow and green hues on their abdomens. Males compete to attract females. First to claim the best and safest spots in the stream for laying eggs. Females observe carefully. The male defends these locations by spreading its wings. Finally, they are together. Yet, the competitors are not ready to concede and will linger for a chance to prevail. Once mating is over, the female must fly to the male's territory to lay her eggs. The female will use an ovipositor to attach her eggs to the stems of aquatic plants. The eggs will be safe here. The male must remain vigilant as other males vie for the female's attention. The female requires time to lay hundreds of eggs. While the male fends off threats, the female may appear vulnerable. However, she possesses a secret ability. It can dive entirely into the water. Preserving stream ecosystems is essential. Most insects in these habitats begin their life cycle in the water. The puddles along the stream brim with larvae. It is time for this dragonfly to leave the water and develop wings. It will cling to a rock and undergo a remarkable transformation. Now it is ready to take flight. Birds also depend on clean, freshwater habitats where insects lay their larvae. The grey wagtail has chosen this spot to nest, a place where food is plentiful. It is easy to see how the bird got its name. Favouring high altitudes, it seeks out rocky outcrops beside fast-flowing streams, ideal places to raise its young. The nest, constructed from twigs, dry leaves and moss, is protected between the rocks. After 2 weeks of incubation, the hatched chicks will thrive quickly, aided by the parents' ongoing food deliveries to the nest. Maintaining a clean nest is crucial. A key responsibility for the parents is removing the chicks' fecal sacs from the nest. The parents must consistently bring food to their ever-hungry chicks. The abundance of insects near streams is vital for the overall health of the ecosystem. The spider constructs its web in a strategic location. This passive hunting method is remarkably effective, allowing it to conserve energy while capturing multiple insects at once. Few that become ensnared ever break free. The spider tightly wraps its catch. With the help of enzymes in its bite, the spider dissolves the tissues of the insects it traps. A nutritious protein drink for the spider. The cave walls, particularly near the entrance, are perfect hunting grounds for spiders. Nevertheless, bats reign supreme in the cave, making up 1/4 of the mammal species in Anatolia. The cave's depths are pitch black. A thunderous sound echoes off the walls. Within this cave reside thousands of Egyptian fruit bats. As the sun sets, the bats need to emerge to feed. A majority of them have congregated at the cave's entrance. The fruit bat measures about 15 centimeters in length and boasts a wingspan of 60 centimeters. It stands out as the only flying mammal. The colony hangs inverted from the cave's dome-shaped ceiling. Bats hang upside down because their limbs are too weak to generate the necessary thrust for flight. To find food, they simply free fall and then take off. The Egyptian fruit bat possesses the largest brain relative to body size among all bat species. Unlike many of its relatives, it prefers fruits over insects and arthropods. This fruit bat plays a crucial role as a pollinator and seed disperser in the ecosystem. The cave has an unexpected guest. The tawny owl perches in the woods by the cave shaft that bats exit at night. Its call can be quite intimidating. But its claws are even more menacing. The adult fire salamander depends on moisture. It will not stray far from wet and damp areas. it must maintain moist, smooth skin. Forest clearings and rocky areas are vital for the salamander. During the day, it hides beneath moist soil, stones, and tree bark, coming out to search for food at night. A mountain village in East Anatolia. The female deposits her eggs in the water. The larvae have external gills, allowing them to breathe underwater. The young salamander remains aquatic, feeding on insects and other larvae until it matures. Then comes the time to leave the water. Though it will spend the rest of its life on land, never straying far from the water's edge. One of the most fascinating residents of stream habitats is a small bird found throughout Anatolia. The white-throated dipper is the only songbird to dive into water and swim. Dippers generally prefer rocky, clean, fast-flowing streams at high altitudes. Thanks to their unique ability, they have no rivals in this habitat. Their dense, waterproof feathers allow dippers to dive into the water to feed on aquatic insects, larvae, and small fish. The dipper's nest is just as special as its hunting methods. The crevices in rocks overlooking the stream are the dipper's favourite nesting areas. Using moss and grass sourced from the nearby stream, they build an oversized, spherical nest. Dippers hunt by sight. The clean, flowing streams are essential for dippers and many other species. The Kızılırmak Delta, where the longest river spanning Anatolia flows into the Black Sea. This is a true bird paradise. Around 350 species live here. Some species are migratory, and around half breed in this area. One of the most common birds in the delta is also among Anatolia's most interesting and unique species. The grey-headed swamp hen has a striking plumage of violet blue, purple, turquoise and red. Its large feet allow it to navigate the delta's reeds and thick aquatic vegetation easily. It uses its feet like claws. Plant shoots, leaves, roots, flowers, seeds, and especially aquatic plants are its favourite. It meticulously searches for the most nutritious foods. The wetland must be defended. dominant individuals patrol the delta, asserting their presence to keep other swamp hens in check. A menacing gaze. Life is about to get harder for birds that ignore the warnings. The delta serves as a crucial transition zone between water and land, playing a vital role for birds. Its abundant small organisms and fish foster a lively ecosystem, attracting many birds to nest in these areas. Shallow stream banks and small ponds serve as ideal hunting grounds for herons. The grey heron is one of the largest predators in the delta. With its elongated neck and sharp beak, it remains motionless. It waits patiently. A faint ripple, an approaching fish. The slightest vibration catches the heron's attention. The fish never stood a chance. With its towering body, the grey heron is after larger prey. This diversity reduces competition and makes finding food easier for each species. The cormorant is also a master fish hunter. Thousands of cormorants reside in colonies close to the feeding sites. The tall trees and nesting spots along the shore and the stream protect the young against potential dangers. Their nests, constructed from branches and grass, are carefully designed to ensure the safety of their chicks. The nest is strong enough to support both the parents and the young. They return to the same breeding grounds every year. The colony is both crowded and diverse. Among them are night herons, grey herons, little egrets and squacco herons. Outnumbering the other birds, the cormorants have taken over the area closest to the water and furthest from danger. Early morning. This river and the surrounding wetlands serve as their hunting grounds. There is a lot of activity at the colony site. Flocks of birds constantly come and go to feed throughout the day. Feeding together has its advantages. By moving in unison, they can easily encircle schools of fish, increasing their chances of a catch with each dive. Cormorants can stay underwater for at least 2 minutes. They move underwater using their wings and webbed feet. Unlike most water birds, cormorant feathers are not entirely waterproof. Oily feathers, such as those seen on ducks, would hinder a deep dive. When out of the water, cormorants must dry their wet feathers. They leave the feeding grounds before dark falls and return to the colony. The chicks eagerly await their parents' return. They will be fed fresh fish until they are old enough to hunt. The chicks have grown quickly. They can't fit in the nest anymore. They have spread out onto nearby branches. They will soon set off for their wintering area, and the dead trees that host the colony will be abandoned until the next breeding season. The delta awakens with the first light of morning. Life here is in harmony with the rhythm of the water. The tides and seasons will constantly alter the river's water level. This dynamic ecosystem enables the species in the delta to adapt quickly and effectively. Each species employs its unique survival strategy. Breeding in the heart of the steppe, the flamingos arrive at their wintering and feeding grounds. The young and the adults are together. The delta's shallowest part, where the floodplain forest meets the sea, is a prime feeding ground for flamingos. Young flamingos must feed constantly to develop their vibrant pink hues. Flamingos coexist with other birds, hunting in the river and delta. But they won't compete. Their ways of life are different. Fish gather in areas where the river widens and slows before reaching the sea, offering hunting opportunities for birds. Surrounded by sea on three sides, Anatolia is carved by dozens of rivers and dotted with fertile deltas. From towering peaks to deep canyons, from coastlines to hidden valleys, every corner of this land teems with unique wildlife. Yet our demand for fresh water continues to rise. Each dammed stream leaves behind irreversible damage to fragile habitats. And still, hope remains. The future of Anatolia depends on its rivers. Lifelines that shape the land and sustain all who call it home.